I didn't. I was watching this movie. Robbie had been asleep. She woke up about quarter to midnight, and I forgot what movie I was watching, but I was enthralled with it. And I said, well, I thought, what do you want to watch? What was it? And then when I finally switched over, it was because I was showing credits 10 minutes after. I've seen it a couple times, and all I needed to say it was. Okay, okay. Okay, we ready? So what song do you think I'm going to pick for New Year's Day? Yesterday was Old Lang Syne, of course. Oh yeah, you cheated.
Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to start a brand new year, right? Have a brand new year, first day of the brand new year. It's a brand new me and a brand new you and a brand new we.
I think you should say that song for January 20th.
And Kelly has changed a lot.
Well, actually, this would be the Kelly seat.
Kelly's.
Well, you've changed a lot.
You've had me confused.
And then Lee's changed a lot. I'm really confused.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Rayford Brown.
Good morning, I'm Lee Barrows.
And I'm the donkey man this morning.
Timmy be in the house.
Yeah, we be in the house this morning.
Yeah,
Timmy in the house.
New Year
we call it the house of confusion.
Yeah, New Year with an old back. So yeah, we're doing good.
Oh,
We'll
man,
talk about
mine
that
was
now.
bad yesterday. I could barely sit here yesterday.
You
But
can,
I'm good.
You can stand if you like. You know.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So, does it feel any different today than it did yesterday?
I could have got some more sleep, I think.
It's a little cooler.
Yeah.
So-
It's going to get cold.
Yeah.
Cold
Again.
this weekend.
Yeah, it dropped to 47 something, 46 now outside, and I'm like,
It felt good to me.
God, I'm about to freeze
It
to
felt
death.
good to me, too.
Oh, God, it
I
didn't
just
feel
brought
like
a small
47.
jacket.
If the
Well,
wind
I've
had been blowing, I'd have been,
been freezing.
yeah.
So yeah, y'all, we'll tell you about the weather a little bit, but it's going to get chilly, and you may as well put on a big old pot of chili.
Coming this weekend, nighttime lows are in the low 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be out there. I got to get some more wood. I got to go out there and let's see if I know anybody with a wooden fence. I can go cut it down. They don't need it. I could use it. I recycle it for them. Those wooden fence slats always burn so good.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to our Cardinal mom. She's
Especially
already
that-
up and wishing us a happy new year.
Well, Happy New Year, Card.
Especially that little bit
Miss
of
Ann.
salt treated in it. It burns really
Oh, it
good.
does.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got some wood, but it's salt treated.
Maybe
It
we could-
might not go well.
Yeah, well, we're
It'll
fine.
burn.
It burns good.
I've
No
always told
problems.
don't use it in your fireplace.
Now, if you're talking about the chemical treated stuff, yeah, you don't burn that.
All I know
anywhere.
is treated wood when I buy it.
No, well, that's that green stuff.
Timmy, I need to ask you too. Who can you get to fix your patio, concrete patio?
His doesn't need fixing.
No, mine is
Oh,
splitting and it's changed. It's the level is bad.
It's collapsing.
It is.
It's got some. I know
You
there.
got an air pocket. You got a pocket in there. You got some erosion underneath it somewhere, and it's settled.
Who do you have anybody that you know?
You got
you
3 or
got
4
s-
concrete companies.
Yeah,
there.
You can
you
tell
got-
me on the side.
You're gonna have to start from kind of scratch.
Well, it was a concrete company that initially put it in. It's been about 10,
Well, how long ago
How
was
long?
that?
10, 15 years ago.
No, warranty's kind of off on that now.
Yeah, well, I knew, but oh my gosh.
Okay, a bunch of stuff going on.
Yes.
Kelly is. She worked all night. She was out until we know 4:00 this morning.
She was out with the Batmobile.
So we'll talk about that shortly too. But first, breaking news down in Nolens area, New Orleans. At least 10 people dead, dozens others injured. A driver, they say drove his car into a crowd on Bourbon Street last night, early this morning, about 3:15 their time, which should have been 4:15 our time. So it's only a couple hours old, 3 hours, less than 3 hours ago. He got out of the car, opened fire after running into the crowd. Don't know whether he hit anybody or not. Police were all over the place, of course. And they reported it as a mass casualty incident. And they encourage people to get yourself away from the area.
Yes.
That's pretty straight up, isn't it?
Yes, they have not released any information yet on the guy.
30 people
So,
were
still
injured,
active.
and at least 10 were confirmed dead.
That's a shame.
I don't like crowds on holidays like that.
I
I
don't
just
either.
never have. I've always wanted to go to the Mardi Gras, but I have not. I've been in New Orleans a few times, but I've never Mardi Gras. I've been over to the area where they warehouse all the floats.
Yes.
You could go in there and tour it and take a
I've
look.
never
See,
been.
I've done that, but that wasn't loaded with people. Who wants to see an empty float? But I just don't like to be standing around in crowds.
So they party every day there, though. You should be able to go any day of the year.
Yeah, well,
They're party people.
Not my cup of tea there. Or in New York, and they had a big crowd there last night too, and everything went according to plans. I guess maybe the rain probably put a damper, pardon the pun, on some bad people. So, that'll keep you under wraps. And of course, they had a huge police presence there, federal and state and locals, and everybody else was there. So just in case, we're all worried about crowds these days.
Yes.
I mean, ever since 2000 and what year was that? One.
Yep.
Ever since then, we've had worries at major ball games.
Yeah.
Super Bowl coming up. The World Series, gone. Any big events where you've got 50,000 people, what an opportunity that presents.
Yeah.
So there are all sorts of stuff happening. The Olympics, oh my God. You just never can tell because there's some wacky people out there walking among us.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, you know where it's going to be this year?
In New Orleans?
Uh-huh. You're right.
All right, I mentioned Kelly was out last night. Part of her other job, her real job, she's a counselor, and one of the things they deal with are abuse situations. Now, both abuse of people, but abuse of yourself,
Right.
drugs and alcohol. And she had the opportunity again, because of her position, to go out and observe at a road check station last night. We told you there was going to be at least one. I don't know how many there were in Onslow. I know there was at least one. And early on, it was looking kind of slack.
Oh, yeah.
And they set it up on Catherine's Lake Road. I said, wow, what an opportune location.
Yeah.
Nobody's expecting that one.
No, not at all.
That would not have been the place
Usually
I would have
think about
expected.
17 between Verona and
Yeah, that neck of the woods.
Dixon.
On busy highways, though, they generally try to stay away from the busy thoroughfares.
Yeah.
They will do it, but they don't keep it up all night long, and they don't do it during the peak traffic times. And most of the time, they start setting up about 11 o'clock.
Yep.
People are not drunk enough by 8 o'clock.
Give them about 2.
And but over the years, and I've been on a couple of those road check stations, and there used to be about every 10th car you could guarantee you got one, and but not anymore. And that's a good thing. The educational system is helping, or the fear, whatever it takes. If you got to scare them to death, it's okay. Get yourself a DD, a designated driver. And or make sure you've got an alternative way to get home. And that's all that we need to concentrate on these days. But last night, Kelly was out, and early on being, let's see if I can find the time frame here.
Let me see what it was. It was
Shortly after midnight.
around 2-ish.
That's a good time.
Well,
think
this
it
was happening
started.
before then, because anyway, nothing was happening. They hadn't tagged anyone, even at midnight. But they stopped and did some checks and all that sort of good stuff. And then a biker came up, a motorcycle.
Around 1:30.
Yeah, a little before 1:30,
Mm-hmm.
and he was revving his engine while he was waiting in line. Well, there's a sign for you.
Yeah.
So when they start revving their engines, okay, he's either going to split or he's showing off, and he may be blitzed, whatever. But anyway, the guy took off, and they chased him on his motorcycle into Duplin County, and he lost control, and the only thing we know is that he got airlifted out
Right.
from the scene because it was pretty bad. And speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. I don't know whether they went over that or not, but I know they approached 100 mile per hour in the chase.
Usually does not end well.
If they don't pull over when they get that fast, they're not going to pull over until they wreck.
Right.
Or unless you force them off the road. You try not to force motorcycles off the road. That never ends well.
Mm.
So anyway, one deputy was involved in, so I don't know whether the collision or another collision or whatever, lost control. But anyway, whatever happened, he's okay. The vehicle was messed up, but he's okay. Vehicles can be repaired. You got insurance. But they had a number of several tests that they did early on, what they call Alka-Sensor tests, which is nothing but a roadside field sobriety test. It's part of the field testing. Yes, you blow into it, but it's not something that they're going to generally take and use against you in court because it's not an official anything. They're calibrated, but they're not calibrated to the degree that the breathalyzer instrument is calibrated. But it's close enough to put you in the ballpark. The idea being that if somebody blows a .07, you're not likely going to go ahead and hook them up. You might encourage them unless they're obviously impaired.
Yeah.
.07, you can be drunk. You can be impaired.
Mm-hmm.
You can be, especially you just turned 21, never had a drink in your life, and you go out and have about 4 mixed drinks in an hour, you're drunk. Especially when you didn't eat since noon the day before. You're drunk, and it just takes less alcohol to make you impaired. So anyway, they did some of those. They finally, I guess at 4:00, the last notice that I got from her at 4:00, the end result, and by the way, the guy in the motorcycle gang, this outlaw motorcycle gang, the Pagans.
Uh-huh.
Not that we're saying anything about you pagans now.
No, who's not?
Lock the door. Just kidding.
Y'all are outnumbered already. Yeah, and they were stopped some vehicles, some suspicious folks, and they were looking for weapons or drugs or whatever.
Oh, I have it right here if you want it.
And
You
I'm
got it
going to
right
get down
here?
to the other. I got it right here.
Okay.
And at about 4, the overnight stats were they ended up with 2 DWI arrests. Had one underage person drinking. Why are you doing that? One underage drinking citation.
Yep.
Now, and here's they ran 14 Alka-Sensor tests. So 12 of the people that they ran a test on, probably without the Alka-Sensor, would have been arrested and taken down and let them blow into the breathalyzer. Yeah. Because generally, you don't just run an Alka-Sensor on anybody and everybody just because you stop them or they come up. You have to have some kind of in your own head. You better have some kind of a thought process. And if you got enough in your head to give them a breathalyzer, an Alka-Sensor test, then you probably got enough to arrest them. Okay. But then even if they get down and they blow less than 0.08 after you do arrest them, well, they can use that as part of their defense. It's only part of their defense because the rest of how you saw them drive, how they operated, their field sobriety test, they stumbled out of the car, they fell down twice. Even if you blow a .07, that's as grounds to use against you. All right. So, and then they had 2 DWI arrests, 1 underage drinking. They had, this is what the next 2, 7 expired registrations and expired insurance.
Get a lot of that.
Folks, that impacts you, me, and everybody else
Sure
out here.
does.
Why are their tags expired? Why do they have no insurance? Well, their tags have probably expired because they have no insurance. They couldn't afford it, and they take your tags in. They may not physically pick them up because they might not be able to find you. Some people don't have the right address.
Hadn't paid their car taxes.
Haven't paid their taxes or whatever. Then there were 6 no operator's license or suspended operator's licenses. Now, those are the people you too have got to be careful of and be concerned about. Why are they suspended?
Not paying their tickets, many infractions, etc. DWIs.
In a case like me, the owner of the truck didn't pay the ticket, the weight ticket or any kind of ticket. And see, that doesn't fall on me.
No.
It falls on the owner. But if the owner don't pay it, they suspend my license until it's paid.
That's crazy.
That's the way it works.
It's crazy when you're
happens
driving.
all the time. I mean, guy be driving down the road. He may have got an overweight ticket. We'll just say Georgia. Okay, turns it in. It's not enough to stop him and make him, you stay here till you get the right stuff. But 30 days, if the ticket hadn't been paid, well, they look at it. Well, driver his license is suspended. So the next time he pulls in, it's already on computer. When they see that tag, pull over driver. Your license is suspended. He don't even know.
Yeah, not a clue.
And why? Well, there's a ticket that you got a month or 2 ago and hadn't been paid. So,
this goes against you now.
Yeah, it's against him. Right then.
So that probably needs to be adjusted.
The computer age is a very fine thing. It's used to be.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, but it's just, I'll give you an example. I was going to Fort Stewart, Georgia. Pulled into Georgia. Had a permit, and I pulled in. They waved me on in to come in, and he walked outside. He says, "Driver, your permit has the wrong license tag on it," and he ain't even seen it. Ain't even seen my permit. But when they read my tag, when I went under that camera, that computer automatically just kicked in. No permit.
Wow.
Because they had already bumper weighed me. So you got to pull over. But the thing about Georgia, I really enjoy. He gave me a card. He said, "Call this number." He said, "We know what happened. Ever who wrote the permit put the wrong tag number on it." And he said they'll fix it in 10 minutes. Folks, 10 minutes later, I was rolling down the highway.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I called them up. They said, "Oh, yeah, you got that permit. Your tag number is really this one." And I said, "Well, you're exactly right, because we're on file.
Charlie.
We'll fix that." And they did. So it's great for people like me on that. Because I could have sat there a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, guess who we got? We get to wish Happy New Year. Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Yeah, I don't think it's a Happy New Year, but I want to talk about traffic tickets.
Okay.
So you guys were just talking about them, correct?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
So I got a camera. I got one of those red light camera tickets. No officer involved.
Yep.
They caught me on camera ticket, making a right on a red.
Mm-hmm.
Sent a little photograph to me. I rented a car, a vehicle. Sent it to the agency. Agency sent me the letter saying, "Hey, this is you." So I get the ticket. $600.
Yeah.
What?
Man, I got to.
What town was that?
Well, it's in California.
Welcome to North Carolina.
you should have committed a major offense. You would have got, slap on the wrist
Yeah.
and the community service.
So you guys have those traffic red light camera tickets where there's no officer involved?
We don't have them here. I'm opposed to them. I'm totally opposed to them.
I'm not saying that, but do you have those? Do you have them?
No, not here.
Not in where we live, but they have them in Wilmington. There's a big controversy down the road here. They've got them in other parts of North Carolina. Big controversies all the time. First of all, let me explain to you the criminal statutes in North Carolina. You cannot, unless an officer is involved and sees you commit an offense, or unless somebody sees you commit an offense and goes to a magistrate's office and takes out a warrant, it has to be a human intervention. A red light camera is not. Therefore, they declassified. If you run a red light, and you get caught by a red light camera on North Carolina, then it is what they call a citation. It's only what's that other word I'm looking for? It's like a parking ticket. It's an infraction.
Yes.
It's not a criminal offense that way. Yeah. And it does not go against you. And a $600 ticket, no, it won't happen here.
I'll give you a little tidbit on this. When they first started that in Charlotte, Monroe, that was the first place I remember they had them. Monroe, North Carolina had them. A truck driver got popped. He took it to his attorney. His attorney, and it's $50. His attorney said, "Wait just a minute. You got $50?" Yeah. So he puts it in the copy machine. He copies the $50 front and back, puts it in the mail, puts it in the ticket, and sends it back to him. And at the time, the lights, the cameras were not owned by the city of Monroe. It was a contractor. So a contractor cannot issue you a citation.
Nope. So
then the city had to turn around and buy the cameras to make it stick. So that happened a lot because the attorney that said got on TV in Charlotte and told everybody, if you get a ticket, just take a picture of a $50 bill and send it in.
It's a money-making proposition in some places, Charlie, and I think from what you just told me, you live in one of those places.
Yeah. I mean, I just listened to you guys go on and on. You guys live in like a 1940s, Petticoat Junction town.
Yeah, just about. We don't even have a train. We don't even have a train.
We've gotten beyond the trains.
I got a donkey and a buggy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No. I live in a state where you could walk into a small business and you could still, I think, upwards of $850 worth of merchandise, and they're not allowed to touch you, and you can walk out. And do it again. You can do it again. You can do it again. But I drive through. I don't stop fully at a red light, and they send me letters saying if you don't pay this fee, school. We're going to report your insurance. We're going to take away your right to drive. We're going to ruin your life, and you have no rights. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! The whole thing is going to be like, I think, almost $800. Probably. I can say, listen, you screwed up. You didn't stop. We're going to teach you a lesson. We're going to charge you $200. Don't let it happen again. If we catch you on cam again doing that, a camera, we're going to charge you $400. If you do it again, we're going to charge you $700. Yeah. They're just hitting you so hard. Yeah. And I actually put something on one of those local social media boards, and I said, hey guys, I got a ticket. Any advice for me to get out of this ticket? Because I can't afford it. 90% of people that came back, they said, listen, if the judge sees you on that camera and they compare it to your driver's license, you're screwed. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. And so one of the problems here in the beginning, I don't know what they're doing now because I haven't been nailed by one of those cameras ever. But one of the problems that they had in the beginning, all it did was record your tag number and your car. It did not show the picture of the driver. Right. Now, a car cannot commit an offense. That cannot commit a criminal offense. An operator of a car can. But they weren't able to prove that the guy was even driving. All he had to say, no, it wasn't me driving. Who was it? I don't know. That's not my job.
Well, that's just revenue for those illegal aliens that y'all got to help finance them. That's what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
There's a handful of non-attorneys that have businesses where they will do a trial by declaration for you. And I guess that means they're not attorneys. They'll send you paperwork. You fill out all the paperwork, they'll send it in, but you have to give them a fee.
Of course.
Anywhere from $900 to $300. So I contacted this one company. I said, listen, I'll give you $500. You want $300? I'll give you $500. But here's the deal. If you lose, I got to pay your fee and I got to pay the court fee. But if you win, I'm going to give you double what you're asking. What do you say? You know what they all said to me?
I'll take it.
No, they wouldn't take it at all. They wouldn't take it at all. They wanted nothing to do with me. It's all a scam. And most people said, just pay it. So here's my point. I'm going to change the subject real quick. I know you guys are really busy. Do you guys fall into this magic? Do you guys know what magical thinking is? Do you know what that term means, magical thinking?
Go ahead and define it. I've never heard it referred to as magical thinking, but
so magical thinking is when you say knock on wood and you knock on wood.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change the course of anything in life. It's just your own belief that something is going to change because of some idiot told you it was going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Magical thinking, it has everything to do with like New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, we call it wishful thinking.
yeah, wishful thinking. So here's my question. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to share too much. A lot of people make these New Year's resolutions. I think if somebody's maybe on the age of 30 or 40, on the last day of the year, they make all these resolutions. I say don't do it because there's so much energy on the world. Your resolution is going to be canceled. Wait 2 or 4 days after everybody's made their resolution. Then put your resolution out there.
That's a good idea.
I like that.
Hey, man.
That's a good way to put it. A good way to think about it, too.
Yeah, because, like today, there's billions of resolutions out there. And that person that's going to help solve all these resolutions, this person doesn't have time to go through a billion resolutions. They're busy. And they're probably an alcoholic.
Yeah,
so here's my point. Maybe wait like to the 14th or the 18th. I don't know if you're drinking too much. I'm not sure if you want to leave your husband or your spouse or your wife. But anyway, I'm really bummed about this ticket. I have until the 23rd to pay it. I technically can't afford it. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get out of this. So I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. But anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to go. Best of luck with your show. I call into lots of shows. Everybody hates me. They hate me.
I like you.
We like you, Charlie.
I think you guys would expect. Trust me, there are so many shows that hate.
Hey, on your ticket, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I don't have any expertise in that arena except on the other side of the fence. But I wonder what would happen if you ended up just paying them, I don't know, $4. And in a month, you send them another $4. They can't go after you for the full amount.
It's California. It's no telling what they'll do to him.
Probably end up dumping it.
I'm going to actually write the judge. I'm going to write the judge and say it's 100% me. I broke the law. I'm actually thinking about saying, Your Honor, I have broken so many traffic laws throughout my life.
Lord, good God.
But we all have. Listen, if the speed limit is 55 and you've ever gone 56 miles per hour,
You broke the law. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Did it yesterday.
I do it every day.
Right. Everybody breaks laws.
That's
We
right.
all do it. So I was just thinking about writing a letter to the judge saying, listen, I broke the law. I think it's excessive for you to charge me almost, $700, $800. I mean, would you be willing to take maybe $200? I'll go to traffic.
Are you really going to see a judge? I don't.
No, because it's in another city. It's 4 hours away from me.
That's even more ridiculous. They saw you coming.
I have to put up the bail. I have to put the whole amount.
That's
At least let you make
And then you
payments.
take the chance that you go to the judge. Here's exactly what happens. There's a company that owns all of these red light
There you go.
camera tickets. So when you cross the line, you break the law, they trigger it, then they send it back to that city's police department.
Mm-hmm.
There's an officer that reviews it. He looks at it. Right, the officer looks at it and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep, this person he broke the law." So all of these agents, you can give them $100 or $300. I've asked them. I said, "So, what are my chances of getting off?" And they said, "Well, your best chances is the officer does not respond." You see, they work 8 hours a day.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, and so I'm trying to think about. Let me ask you. You used to be a sheriff or a cop, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you. Okay, so let me ask you this. So you understand where I'm going with this? Should I take the chance to spend $100 or $200 hoping that officer wouldn't respond, or would you just say, Charlie, bite the bullet per se, pay the fine, and just eat it?
I would probably do me under normal conditions. I would just go and appeal it to a court.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm not going to pay this. This is a civil violation. I will not pay this. And then they will issue a real citation. I don't know that that's what they will do there, but that's what they would
California.
probably do here. But then you get a chance to plead your case in front of a judge.
Yeah. Oh, no. Here's what happens. I can do a trial by declaration. I can do it through the mail. I pay this agency $200. They give me all the paperwork. They send it into the courts. And if the court says, okay, you know what? We're willing to hear you out, I have to show up in person. So that means I have to drive 4 hours.
Sure.
And I have to plead my case. So, and if there's a chance, I lose a whole full day of pay. I lose everything.
Sure.
So I was hoping you would just say, Charlie, you know what? Just pay it.
I would not pay the dang thing, but that's me. I'm a stubborn jerk.
Yeah, they would. That's the whole idea behind it.
It's going to cost him more to try to fight it than it would be just to pay it, and that sucks.
Oh, by the time I got through with them, you'd be. But I'm sorry. Say again.
Can you let her finish? I was following what she was saying.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say it's probably going to cost you more to try to fight it with the travel time, losing work pay, having to go to court, fight, and do all that. You're probably better off just go ahead and pay it and be done with it.
You know what? I'm going to take that for the voice of reason. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Charlie. Bye.
It's California.
I'm stubborn. I would just want to fight it.
Well, here I would. Here in Oz County.
I would in California if I lived in California.
But it's California.
It's all right.
$600.
By the time I got through with dealing with them and pulling all the records that they've got and making and creating enough.
Look at all the time and effort you're putting into it.
That's okay. It's okay. I mean, you know, I'm me. You know, you understand me.
I understand you completely, but
if I screw up, I'm going to pay the fine. Okay?
Well, the problem is,
I'm going to do it.
A contract agency. What did you say? They get $200 out of the $600?
No, that's what that other people get. The contract will get probably at least 50%.
Well, who's to say these contracts? I think I would send China a note and tell them they need to hack that system. That's ridiculous.
We'll have to wait and see.
That's ridiculous.
I was in Jacksonville, Florida one night and got ready to leave, got out on 295, just got on 95, and I noticed that my trailer lights wasn't on.
Mm-hmm.
So that means my pigtail probably pulled out. Well, it had. I pulled over and got a piece of wood, put the pigtail back, and I was working on it. All of a sudden, I see a light shine in my face.
Mm-hmm. What you doing?
Florida Highway Patrol.
Oh, they're good people.
And I said the pigtail came out, and I'm putting it back in. And he's looking on the ground. I said, "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking to see if you littered." I said, "What do you mean, litter?" He said, "Yeah, did you pee?" He said, "State of Florida, if you pee on the side of the road, that's considered littering." I said, and stupid kicks in all the time. And I said, "Well, wait a minute."
Oh my gosh.
I said, urine is a sterile byproduct of your body. That shouldn't be littering.
Uh-oh.
And he gave me a ticket for my lights being out. Couldn't give me a ticket for peeing. I hadn't peed. So I get a letter from Florida. So I'll send them a letter back. So look, I did, here's what happened. I think it should be thrown out of court. They sent me a letter back. So it's an infraction. If you want to stand up, you come down here to Florida and we'll appear in court. So I sent them the fine and I went on about my business.
Unfortunately.
And I just, that's as cheap and as low as Florida pays their highway patrol. He probably needed that $8 for that ticket. So I didn't worry about it anymore.
In the state of North
that's
Carolina,
what they got.
if you're caught urinating in public, isn't that crimes against nature?
No.
It's not littering.
Unless they see it.
Yes, but if they saw you doing
if they seen you do it, and they seen your extremity sticking out, and you reported it, that's not crime against nature. It's indecent exposure.
Okay.
But you
If a person of the other sex is the one that saw it,
that does it.
that's the law.
But now, if I pulled over on the side of the road, grabbed my toilet paper, jumped in the ditch, and went over there and squatted, they can't give me a ticket for that.
You could say a bear did it.
Well, no, I mean, I talked to a good friend of mine, and he said, yeah, if you
Not
pee
on
on
the
the
public,
side.
not on the
Right.
public right away.
And he said, if you jump across the ditch and use the
Indecent
bathroom, it's
exposure.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and it says it's a misdemeanor in
It's a
North
misdemeanor.
Carolina.
It is.
Well, bless their heart, they'd have to get the magnifying glasses out and
Uh,
fingerprints and all that stuff.
The maximum monetary penalty prescribed by statute is $500.
Yeah.
You'd be
you're
better
not
off
gonna
just
get
to
that.
wet yourself.
No.
Oh God. Okay.
Wear the
Good
pins.
morning. Who's this?
This is Jack Bright.
morning. What's up,
How are
Jack?
you? Happy New Year.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New
Good
Year.
morning, Jack.
You can see how far this conversation has gone downhill, haven't you?
Did you
Yeah.
did you kiss that
I
sweet
want
wife?
to, I've been listening about the citations for red light cameras and so
Yes,
forth.
sir.
And
Oh,
I want to tell you about the folks that would like to live in England and what happens over there.
Oh yeah.
My son-in-law stationed at Lakenheath with the Air Force, and him and my daughter went on a little day trip, and they seen this sign on one of the roadways said toll road, and they kept driving and never found a toll booth at all, and they got to the end and never paid anything because they didn't see any indication or any kind of fee that you pay to use the toll road, so they just ignored it. And they moved from one set of homes to another set of apartments, and apparently authorities got the tag number and sent the letter of the toll fee to the old address, so they didn't get it, and then it didn't get forwarded to the new address. And anyway, long story short, they finally tracked them down and sent them a letter and said that the toll fee was $2 or £2, and then because they didn't pay it and ignored the letter, they had to pay £200 for the use of the toll road and for ignoring the violation. Well, my son-in-law took it to base legal, and base legal informed them that they had to pay it, or if they didn't pay it, London would send what they call bailiffs out to your house, and they come out to your house, and you open the door, and they legally go in and start taking all your stuff. Without any kind of warrant.
Oh my
They
goodness
take your
gracious!
stuff,
Welcome to England.
and they hold your stuff until you pay the fee. Well, because they were unfamiliar with the process and everything, it ended up that they only had to pay the toll fee that was originally there. But England has a strange way of enforcing these traffic violations that you ignore. And I did research on it, and actually the bailiffs has all the authority in the world. They just come to your house and start taking your stuff with no warrants or anything.
Now,
So people that want to live in England, have at it.
for you folks that don't understand, there's a thing that happened back in the year 1776.
Yep.
There's a reason it happened, because we didn't like the way those folks across the pond did business. Period. Bottom line.
It's called God Bless the U.S.
There you go.
We appreciate him being in the Air Force, though.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's sort of the way they do things, and I would imagine other countries has different policies also. But those red light cameras that you folks were discussing earlier, the money that was being taken up was supposedly be going. A big portion of it was supposed to be going to the school fund.
Wasn't happening.
So I think Greenville has actually disbanded their red light cameras, and Jacksonville, when I was with the police department there, with the and in charge of the traffic section, we had companies that come and we researched it, but the companies were actually the ones that made the money. The money was not coming. I mean, a small fraction of the cost would be coming to the city, but we turned it down, and we didn't go that route with using it. Of course, anytime you have people running red lights, any type of deterrent is good, but you never know when somebody is driving the car that they don't identify.
That's right.
And I had several people that called me that got those red light camera tickets in Wilmington.
Yeah.
And the car was the person that actually owned the car that it was registered to is the one that got the summons or the notification that they had to pay it. And there's a lot of cases where I helped them get through the process with the police department in Wilmington to get those cases resolved without the person that actually owned the car paying for it.
Yeah, they will ask you, the companies that send you the citation, which is really not a citation, they send you a bill for running a red light. And see, that's the thing. If I run a red light in Jacksonville and I see one of Jacksonville's finest and they pull me over, they're going to give me a ticket. Okay. That's just the way it is. That's going to go against my record. Now, next time I keep adding these things up, if I'm a regular one of those frequent flyer who runs red lights, at some point in time, you're going to pay the preacher.
Yes.
And the expenses are going to be really high. You start adding up on your insurance rates and everything else. Running a red light camera that a red light camera gets you, you don't have any insurance problems. But Jack, in a city like Jacksonville or Wilmington, one of the most dangerous locations is going to be at an intersection where there are red lights and people are crashing them, right? You were a wreck guy.
Exactly
You did wreck reports. You know what it's like. That's a dangerous thing inside a city. Running 90 miles an hour is one of the very few things that causes wrecks inside the city of Jacksonville. Running a red light,
but
one of the major things, guaranteed.
Most of the serious traffic accidents or fatal traffic accidents that happen in Jacksonville happens at intersections where somebody failed to yield or somebody failed to stop at a traffic signal.
Somebody done something wrong.
Yep. And in Onslow County, it's at the corner of Airport Road and 258.
Yeah.
That's God Almighty.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad one.
Absolutely, and it's got because of the grade of the highway there with that.
Oh yeah,
exactly right.
Sink. It's hard to see traffic coming at a longer or further distance than normally you would watch.
Yeah.
I would think there would be a no right turn on red there coming off Airport Road.
Well,
The
ones that get you is what you're talking about, running red lights. You're going down that hill, say you're going toward Jacksonville, and you're going down the hill and you get to the red light and it turns red. People will run it.
Of course.
And I tell people, and I do this every time. If I'm coming down 111 and I come to 258 and I'm turning left and that light turns green, I count three.
Yes,
and I'm looking before I turn left because I've seen so many times.
That light does not have a delayed green on it.
It does have a delay, but it don't even matter.
Oh my!
I mean, it just they'll run it. They'll run it to death, especially in the afternoon.
And as far as the road check with DWI check forms, and they found all those folks that were driving without with expired tags and insurance. If you remember, Rayford, I talked to you a while back. I don't know if it was on the air or not, but anyway, down in Belk's parking lot in Moorhead, I noticed several cars, Cadillacs, Escalades, Mercedes, several cars did not have current registration
Oh, yeah.
plates. They were
It happens.
expired.
Exactly.
And you know as well as I do, if that plate's expired, they either it could be a fluke where they just forgot it, but they either don't have insurance or they don't have they don't want to pay their taxes on the vehicle, the property tax. And there's a numerous times I go out traveling to and from Jacksonville, and I'm stopped at the traffic light, and somebody whizzes by me in one of the other lanes and completely runs the red light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes you wish you were back in uniform, doesn't it? Every now and then.
Well, absolutely, it does. But the traffic violations just got rampant here.
Yeah,
got
on the bypass the other day. I was behind a car, and he was running 55, maybe 60 on the bypass, and I was behind him, and he's stuck behind another car because the left lane was cramped, was jammed with people in it, right? So his tag is expired. It had been expired for like 3 or 4 months, as I recall. And as soon as the lane cleared, he took off like a bat out of you-know-where, and he's running probably 75 or 80 within a few seconds. Why would you do that and you got expired tags?
Yeah, really.
I mean, you were just asking to be picked up.
Right.
That's like a dope car speeding.
Well,
Why?
I see it. I see it all the time, and
Yeah.
I know if you're on the road, Tim and Rayford and Lee, if you're on the road and you're driving down, say, Lejeune Boulevard, and somebody passes you, speed limit's 45, and maybe you're running 47, or maybe you even running 50, but they passing you running at that speed, and they going probably 10, 15 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Yep.
Where do you find them at? You find them stopped at the next red light.
Of
and you
course,
cruise right on the
exactly.
bottom, and
Yes, sir.
And I pull up beside him, and I always just wave.
I see that most every morning on Belfort.
My favorite line, Jack, when I see that happens, I'll see you in a minute. You know, especially on Lejeune Boulevard. I'll see you in a minute. And before you get to the bridge to get to the main gate, I see him again.
Yep.
So that's just funny.
Well, it's just a waste of fuel and a waste of effort and risking getting stopped for speeding to go nowhere. And if you're running that type speed, chances are you're going to save a few seconds. If you do make the next light, you're going to save a few seconds, but it's not worth the fuel that you spend to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. There was one year I used to go down to Florida a lot and taking 95, right?
Oh, yeah.
And down all the way down to the area. Coming back one year, I just decided I was going to take a look-see at all the vehicles around me. Speed limit was 65 in those days. I put my cruise control on 65. Nothing was slowing me down. I was in good shape, stayed in the right lane. I don't think I ever had to move over because everybody else passed me. And these cars are running, flying past me. We got to Jacksonville, Florida. Guess who I met? Same people.
Yep.
Same
Smith
people.
School of Driving.
Jacksonville PD don't play. I lived there for 4 years. They don't play.
No,
No,
they're
they
pretty
don't.
serious about it.
Yep.
So, all right. Hey, Jack, thank you, sir. Happy New Year, you and Robin.
Same to you.
Happy
Take
New
care.
Year.
Have a good New Year and be safe out there.
All right, you too.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Take it easy, bud.
Let's see. We got
I think
the caller who
Charlie,
is this Charlie
he's still
again?
on the line.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, you
You still there?
yes, sir.
Yes.
I wanted to add something to this. So I've been
Okay.
studying, obsessing. I'm looking over. They sent me video. I can go online. I can look at the exact moment
Sure.
where I turn right on their red. Here's the beauty about this. This isn't 2024 high definition camera where you can identify the nose hairs of the
Right.
car. You know, this is 1942 coverage. And I'm looking at my car turning at the intersection. All three of the lights, they're all orange.
Mm-hmm.
One of them looks like it might be red, but at a different angle, it looks like it might be orange.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to send a letter to the judge saying, all these cars are turning left. I'm in the right lane. Can you please just tell me if this 100% shows a red light? You can't, I want to finish you guys. You can't tell. Anyway, does that make sense what I said? Or you're
Absolutely.
No.
That's also where if a police officer is watching you and they're looking at a couple things. One, if you cross, there's a little painted line right there across the road. If your front wheels are over that when that light is still orange or has not turned red, if your front wheels are over it in the state of North Carolina, I can't tell you about California. You guys got weird here, but you have not run a red light. Even though the light turns red while you're in the intersection, if your front wheels are over that line, doesn't count. If your front wheels are behind that line, and the first picture, the light is red, and you're behind that line, that's picture number one. Picture number two shows that you crossed the line and are turning right, turning right in this case, and then you will get the ticket. That's how it works in North Carolina.
Well, here's one thing. I'm not sure if I can articulate it clearly. I'll try to say it when you're talking to a fourth grader. You come through a four-way stop sign. As I said, I was coming up to make a right turn. The cars heading the opposite direction were making a left turn.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Their light is green. You can see that. So that means no cars will be coming at my direction because there's cars from that direction making a left. It's just weird looking at it. If I take a photograph, the judge is going to say, you know what? All the colors are the same. And those cars in front of you were turning left. I'm not sure if you guys get. I don't know. Listen, is this going to be $700? Listen, am I guilty? I don't remember going. You make 50 red turns a day. Who remembers anything?
I understand.
Is there a chance that I broke the law? Probably, but I don't want to pay it if I don't have to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is really a scam.
They complicate it where
Hey,
you'll pay
let me ask
it.
you
Yeah.
guys this. Let me ask you this. Over the holidays, with your family, your loved ones, your neighbors, anything, did anything special or unique happen? Anything like life memory, like a memorable moment that really just said, wow, this is what life is all about?
I can't say anything special happened.
Well, it was great to sit down on Christmas Day. Quite often we have a large crowd, and this year we had our daughter, our granddaughter, and our son-in-law for Christmas at about 1:00 in the afternoon, and that was it. And of course, I had prepared a meal beginning the day before with the prime rib. It takes a long time the way I do it. And, it was just special having them there and everybody eating and loving it and wishing they had more, and everybody's rubbing their tummies because they're so full. That's as special to me.
Do your family or loved ones, are they curious about your radio program that you do? Do they ever ask about it? Are they interested in what you guys do on air? Or is it something they don't know?
Oh, yeah. I'm
I'm
lucky that my daughter and her husband and my granddaughter right now, she's not quite 21, but they live right next door to me, and they come in from time to time and sit over here on the futon. One or both of them will do that.
Have they ever heard me call in?
I'm sure they've heard you call in.
Yeah, because they listen.
They've got to be saying, Dad, Grandpa, don't take his call.
No, absolutely not. Now, there are one or two individuals out there who are, kind of like in another part of the world.
I wouldn't surprise me if you guys have gotten messages saying, why do you take his calls?
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever had one about you, so you're going to have to step up your game here.
Yeah, we've never gotten
If
one.
if you're going to have to join the crowd that people don't like, you're going to have to really become obnoxious.
Don't do that,
Don't-
Charlie.
Don't do that, Charlie.
I'll change my tune.
No, don't do that.
We like you are, Charlie. We do. We really appreciate it.
Take care.
All right,
Thank you. Well, we're way late for weather, but just real quick, I wanted to tell you, starting today, since we're talking about roads, drivers will require a North Carolina quick pass to use toll roads in the state. Toll fees will increase for both the Triangle Expressway and the Monroe Expressway.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Well, we
Bless
pay
their
by-
hearts.
We
This
pay
was
by
passed.
mail now.
Yes.
They bill us.
The midweek marine forecast is brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. With a new year comes a new start for many people. For those who are struggling with issues as much as they'd like to, they just can't turn off the old year yet. Forget about it and start fresh. Not quite yet. The problems you had last night are likely still with you this morning. But you can do something with this new year. If you know you have problems, Understand that there are risks along the roads you travel. That's actually a good start. Your next step is to reach out for help, whether it's a substance abuse issue, increasing self-destructive issues, or just thoughts that you're a hopeless case. Community Prevention Services right here in Jacksonville, they have trained and experienced counselors who actually want to help you help yourself. Give them a call, ask questions, and set up a time to meet with a counselor. Your conversations with the staff will never be shared with anyone else. Community Prevention Services also accepts most insurance plans. Help is but a phone call away. Make that call, 910-353-0972. That's Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville at 910-353-0972. You can wait until Monday to call, or you can leave a message on the message machine that I'm sure is going to be full. But you want to wait till Monday, you'll get a live operator on Monday morning. Yeah. Offshore for the rest of the week, cool high pressure will dominate through the end of this week. For today, that will result in heavy waves, somewhat of a cross between a washing machine and a roller coaster. Westerly winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots, seas 5 to 7 feet, except 3 to 5 near shore. Sounds and rivers are rough. Wouldn't it be nice if the weather guys out there would articulate like I did? We'd understand that, right? A washing machine and a roller coaster. You got that.
I was impressed.
Thursday, tomorrow, northwesterly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Dicey inlets included. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Friday, northwesterly winds coming down 5 to 10 knots, becoming westerly 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas a bit calmer, 2 to 3 feet. Somewhat choppy in the inlets, though. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon.
And today will be sunny with a high near 59. Northwest winds 9 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 24. Tonight, clear with a low around 31. Thursday, sunny with a high near 51. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 53. And then over the weekend, the temperature drops, highs in the 43 during the day.
Going to welcome somebody here.
Let's do that.
The Burro Restaurant and El Signa Italian Restaurant and the newest restaurant for Randy Swanson at Swansboro, By the Bridge. Back to live and local real talk. Hoping that you had a... What is that noise?
I feel like God's trying to tell us something.
Hoping that you had a grand old time for New Year's Eve. Now, why not slide on over to By the Bridge? I love that name, by the way. From 10 until 6 today, kick off the new year right. Randy is providing free bagels with the purchase of any beverage, as adult beverage or anything else, any other beverage. You get a free bagel. Cream cheese included, of course. And a special treat. One of the area's cool local performers today, Justin Castellani, will be providing soothing background music with his classical guitar. Justin is also an instructor, in case you want to learn how to play. By the Bridge, I like that name. It's pretty easy to find. It's adjacent to El Signa on Corbett Avenue, also known as NC Highway number 24. If you're eastbound, that means going towards Moorhead from this neck of the woods, it's on your left. Mm-hmm. Just the last stop before the bridge over the White Oak River, also known to locals as the First Bridge.
Yeah.
Coming from Cedar Point, the opposite direction. Cross that bridge, stay in the right lane, and turn into the first driveway after you get over the bridge. Nice lunch menu. Ask about their conch fritters, by the way. They got them on the appetizers. I love conch fritters, and theirs are pretty dang good. By the Bridge Restaurant on Corbett Avenue in Swansboro. Don't forget free bagels with a beverage, any beverage today. Live soothing music starts at noon and lasts until 3 o'clock. You want to go in there and just sit down and relax for a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, they got good shrimp baskets, all sorts of cool stuff there. Get that. Stop by and see 'em.
Congratulations, Randy.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us again there, Randy.
Yep. Don't forget the burr steak is the best steak. Okay.
We all have it.
Randy, go keep it up, baby.
Oh yeah, he knows where to buy it and how to cook it.
You ain't wrong.
Yes, it was
There's a
great.
difference. You got to know where to buy it, what to look for.
Yeah,
And he
make 'em
told
Ain't
all
nobody
hurt.
beat it yet, and I've been all over
Oh,
Onslow County
so have I.
ribeye steak, and
No.
they ain't beat his yet.
No. He's got a special way of doing it.
Now, Cam Ball does a good job, but now the Borough is the best in
Yep.
Onslow County to me.
All right. Okay. Remember that tragic story of a. Boy, we are running late today, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit.
The story of
It's
a
all good.
woman who was set ablaze while she was riding a train
Yes.
in New York last week.
Yes.
She's been identified. She was 61-year-old Debrina Kawam of Tom's River. That's over in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
It took more than a week to confirm her identity because the body was so badly burned.
That's just-
33-year-old Sebastian Zapata, a man who had been deported once only to sneak back into the United States, has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the attack on Ms. Kwam. He remains in custody. Laws in New York are kind of confusing. Zapata is also charged with arson. That's understandable. And 3 counts of second-degree murder, all involving the same case.
Why second degree?
You don't even ask me why. You might not want to listen to this if you get kind of angry real easy, so I'm glad Kelly's not here. You might blow a gasket. There's a video of this whole crime.
Oh, me.
I saw it. Parts of it.
You didn't see the whole thing.
No,
The
they didn't
surveillance
show it.
video. It is surveillance video shows Zapata approaching the woman who was sitting motionless and may have been sleeping while aboard a stationary train. Train stopped moving. He walks up. Video shows that he doused her clothing with what may have been lighter fluid. Then he set it on fire. First, who carries a can of lighter fluid around with them? Might become evidence that this was premeditated. You think? Zapata then stayed on the scene, sitting on a bench just outside the train car. I've seen those pictures.
Yeah.
As cops and transit workers extinguished the flames, the victim was declared dead. The district attorney says the first-degree murder charge carries life without parole. We know what I think about that, and that's bogus. The second-degree charges carry 25 years to life. Fed up New York political leaders, even Democrats, want ICE to pursue federal charges on the arson charge that resulted in the victim's death. Why? If found guilty of arson, Zapata could face the death penalty because somebody was killed. That's unless President Biden does some sort of preemptive commutation.
Okay.
The scum was originally intercepted by Border Patrol officers back in 2018. We know whose watch that was on. And he was deported. He managed to get back into the country at some point in time recently. Didn't get caught. Makes me wonder, though, how many other crimes that he's committed during his second trip. Makes me wonder why we think it's okay to allow virtually anyone to come to this country without screening. We have enough of our own issues without taking on the misfits of this world. That's what I think. 910-333-0139. Want to jump on board? Come on down. The water's fine. I'm going to get a little chilly for you.
It's
It
just
could get a little
crazy
hot.
case. He'll plead insanity and
I got a lighter note for you. Yesterday,
I say ship them off. Dump 'em
on a
off.
good lighter note, yesterday was St. Diane's last day of work for the federal government.
Congratulations.
Yay. Congratulations. Now
she's
she's
got-
sleeping in, right?
Well, she did today, and I went and got her biscuit.
Oh,
But she has got to go back and pack up and clear up a few things. But
Should get paid for that.
it didn't take me long to pack up on my last day.
Well, she was trying. Some audits came up. Now she's passionate about her farmers, and she's really passionate about her oyster farmers.
Oh, yeah.
She's really passionate. I mean, she loves them because when this program came on board, it was her program, and she got into it.
Yeah.
And she's got to know some people, and it's just really and the audit one of the audits or something came up about an oyster farmer, so she had to clear all that up. And when that happens, they just come back and maybe a year or two later said, we want you to recheck this. And you really want to recheck it because it could go where they may receive more money than if they had a loss that year. They may receive more money than what they were originally done, and that happens all the time. They'll do audits every year. They'll pick a few, and they gave them to them in the last minute, and so she jumped on board and she was helping take care of it. But yeah, she didn't get a chance to pack up. Now she is a civilian now, so.
I would like to have, with all the oysters farms that we have up and
ready
down,
for some oysters.
in eastern North Carolina, but especially here at Carteret and Onslow and Pender counties, that stretch. It would be fun to be able to get, 6 or 8 of those farmers to provide like a peck of oysters from each one of them. I'm not looking for free oysters, guys. But to have a pack of oysters and for me to assemble 4 people, oyster connoisseurs, people who have experience eating oysters.
You can probably get that done.
If we had those in here and one day put it up on camera, we can do it. We don't have to do it live. This is one thing we could record one day and do it in the backyard, cook them all the same way, and do an oyster test.
Yeah.
Also have some regular oysters like the Stump Sounds. Or Topsail Rock, or both
Snays
local,
Ferry,
and North River.
North River.
We could get some of those as well. A pack of each of those, and let these half dozen connoisseurs, experienced oyster people, compare.
Yeah,
I'd want to start out with a raw one.
Yeah.
Okay, we take a raw one of each. Yep. Most good oyster connoisseurs love raw oysters. Not a problem. We do that. Then we cook them until they're like you would cook a steak if you really like steaks this way. What my wife calls BD.
Yeah.
Barely dead.
Barely dead.
Almost,
put a Band-Aid on
almost moon. And then try that. And then we cook some medium where but they're warm.
Yeah.
And then we do the kind that you should never cook.
Right.
Burn them.
Yeah.
Shriveled up type
Shriveled
stuff.
up.
Not
That's
just
the way my
have them
wife
until
likes it.
all the shells are open, and then they've kind of shriveled up.
She don't like slider. She likes to chew.
Oh, do I tilt your
love
head
slide.
back? What I used
Yeah.
to do as an 18-month-old child, according to my parents, tilt my head back, and that thing just goes right straight
Yes,
on
sir.
down.
That's good eating.
It's some really good eating. Still love them that way.
Yep.
But that would be an interesting
Give me something to think
taste
about.
test around here, wouldn't it?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm in.
But oyster farming is
Just
just
say
amazing
oysters.
to me.
I'm in.
It's just amazing. the
Oh,
way
yeah,
they
it's
do it.
amazing what they go
It's
through.
Blows my mind. And
It's a way. They're doing an experiment.
it's an expensive process.
Oh, yes, it is.
Because you got to lease the land from the marine fisheries, number one,
Mhm.
and then you got to seed your oysters, and you got them in the and it's
You
just
gotta-
it's
you gotta get the
awesome.
seeds. You got to
Yeah.
get everything.
And that's not cheap.
No.
And all it takes is the water can warm up too early, whatever.
Yep.
Kill your oysters. It cannot. The red tide.
Oh, yeah.
This too much rainwater. Not enough rainwater. It is a really big gamble.
We
And-
have
but they
Chris
take it
Marks
on.
on the line. I love oysters.
Oh, I do too.
I love oysters, and Chris Marks loves oysters too. Hey, Chris, how are you? Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year. I love, give me oysters any day.
Yeah, I can take them. Months that end, I said months that end in R, like July,
Some butter garlic.
July.
July,
Yeah.
Butter with
and
garlic.
Junior.
Yeah, you got Junior. And,
Yeah, we got December. Let's
Maybe.
get January.
in February.
Let's do
March is getting a
Yeah.
little questionable.
Mm.
Water's
It
warming up.
was interesting. I didn't see very many of the local, here in town, there's only a few, but local fish markets that had any, saying they had oysters available. Usually New Year's Eve, everyone's doing oyster roast along with other festivities.
they had a big loss this year for local oysters. Your drought.
Yeah.
We had that 2.5 month drought. I'm sorry, I should
Yeah.
had that
Yeah.
2.5 month drought really hurt them. Really hurt them.
It did.
And then we had all that
Well,
rain after that.
The rain makes them poor.
Yeah.
Makes them fresh, not fat.
Yeah. So that's the sad thing with our North Carolina weather. Sometimes it's feast or famine, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to feel bad for them. But there's still good oysters around.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
right,
I've had some.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say, Rayford, if there's a good oyster around, you're going to find it. I'm sure. Yeah. But I do want to wish Rayford, you, Lee, and Timmy, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Wish a happy new year and a prosperous one to the three of you. And I want to say, Rayford, there was a lady that made a comment on the post that y'all put up yesterday for Reese Cross America.
Yeah,
Had a
that was me.
Yes, thank you, Lee, and
I
thank you for your
fixed it.
donation.
Yes.
You'll be going on my thank you page today.
Aw.
But the lady who had made a comment on that, actually, we talked last night for about 30 minutes, and she's a go-getter.
Wonderful.
So she's gonna be helping out, but just giving my daily update. Although if people go to my site and they see, well, no, you don't have 200 wreaths already. We do, but National out of Maine, they're still processing checks. So what I'm doing is I count them as they come in.
Right.
Because it's going to be processed. Right, no doubt about it. So, we've got 200 and we only started December 15th. And for those people who think I'm crazy, that's good. I probably am. But 2024 event did end. 2025 for us, for our group here locally, we started the very next day to make sure that we have these graves covered.
Right.
And it's going to be great if we can get to July and go, we've got all ours. We're ready. We'll help others. That would be great. And because of live and local real talk, the word is getting out. Many of the listeners contribute. And again, the reason that we're doing it, and I thank you again for your time, allowing me time, is by January 17th, 11:59. That's when the 5 wreaths for $34 goes away.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you did it last year, thank you. If you're planning on doing it this year, don't on. Get more bang for your buck and do it now.
Yeah.
My exact phrase.
Yes.
Most bang for the buck.
Yeah. There you go. And Rayford, you've
Good.
done the math. We've done it both quite a few times on the show.
Comes out to $6.80 a wreath instead of $17 a wreath if you do it this way.
Yeah.
Hello.
And just once again want to reassure everybody, I'm getting pleasure out of making sure every gravesite has a wreath. I do not get paid. I do not want money, except if you're going to give it to Wreaths Across America.
Right.
Well,
for the Coastal State Veteran Cemetery.
I ordered yesterday, but I will order again before January 17th.
Oh, I'm sure, and bless your heart, because you'll get a special mention on my thank you page.
Well, I'll continue throughout the year buying them here and there, when I have extra, instead of spending it at Starbucks and paying $10 for a cup of coffee, I will buy a wreath.
When do they go up from a nickel?
It's expensive.
Used to be a nickel for a cup of coffee.
I'm
wasn't it?
going to, what's the name of that?
I like to see Starbucks.
New
second
Borough
for me.
restaurant. What's the name of that? By the bridge?
Yeah, drive the bridge.
I'm going to go get a free bagel.
You can get a free bagel today until
And I'll be able
they
to,
run out and they open at 10 o'clock this morning.
I'm going to be able to afford another
And you can
wreath.
listen. You can sit there and listen to some great songs. Now,
Yes.
after your bagel, hang around there for a little while and order some conch fritters.
Oh, that sounds
And
so
then that after go over there and get your
Appetizer,
steak.
conch fritters.
with some steamed oysters.
They're good.
I wanted to mention, I'm not going to plug that. I don't want to use the restaurant's name without permission, but there's a hamburger restaurant in the mall that on January 14th is going to give 20% of their food sale profits back to Wreaths Across
Well, let's
America.
just go ahead and mention it.
We all know who that is. There's only one hamburger place, and that's Red Robin.
In the wall?
Okay.
No, yeah,
Okay.
right? Red
It
Robin?
was- yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it was your place to say it, not mine.
Well, if they're going to do that, we're going to say it. We're gonna
That's
plug 'em.
right.
Go by there and
Okay.
eat your burger, and part of that money is going to
And
go
what day
to
is that, Chris?
Wreaths Across America.
January 14th.
Yep.
Okay.
And all you have to do, walk in and say, this is for Wreaths Across America. You get 20%.
There you go.
off the
Okay.
stores.
Remind us, so don't forget.
Oh, sorry. 20% of their
Put that on
sales
my
of that day
calendar.
go to Wreaths
Yeah.
honoring our fallen veterans.
Awesome.
So sorry, not 20% off your bill, but and it's great food, great food. But and we have some other fundraisers. We'll be going through obviously Live and Local Real Talk to get involved, and hopefully we have that exciting news coming up after the first part of next week. I believe Rayford is when we're going to have some conversations
Yes.
for the
Wonderful.
listeners.
All
Yay.
right.
Hallelujah.
That's good. It's in my
Once
calendar.
again,
I'd like to, we can
Live and-
I can go over there and we can have that conversation.
Yes.
sounds good. Live and Local Real Talk is community based and is community minded.
Mm-hmm.
They broadcast in many countries, many states.
Yeah.
And we do, don't
They
we?
originate.
Me too.
They originate in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
I forgot what post I
For
did
that.
one day. It was right after the show, and I put something out there. I had 79,000 hits on it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
what
have-
the world?
And we
And
have,
it was international.
well, look, we have callers from California,
Yeah, we do.
from all
Charles
over.
this morning, right, from California.
Yeah,
That's right.
Charlie's out that way.
Just don't turn red on the
But-
right unless you stop.
Getting tickets. Well, the best thing
That's
to do is
him.
get yourself a bunch of
That's wrong.
what?
That's 600. That's ridiculous.
The best thing
That's
you can do
California.
if you drive through
Yeah.
California is get yourself a whole bunch of old license
Get an
plates
Uber.
Yeah.
and put magnets on the back of them. So as you drive along, you just keep changing the plates out.
Yeah.
It only takes you to pull one off, put another one on.
I
Not
just,
that I've ever done that,
I just moved.
but I have.
Well,
I just moved.
knowing that we all know many people in law enforcement, and Timmy, you're on the road a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I could have sworn that in North Carolina, at least in Onslow County, there's that darkened license plate law where you can't not have your license plate darkened
Correct.
to where you cannot read it.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And
So
don't
you
put,
ride around town, you'll see it all the time. You
Yeah.
cannot
Mud,
read the letters.
dirt.
put a little dirt in the right spot.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little electrical tape in the spot. And you can change an 8 to something else in a hurry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
Don't
tape
do
on
it. It's intentional. And once they see it and they pull you over, you get an extra little.
you're gonna
come see
get
the
it.
judge.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Well, again, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been a great show so far. I'm sure the rest of it will be. But thank you again for honoring our fallen veterans and for your efforts to
Mhm.
help us get the word out.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
need some T-shirts.
We'll
Chris.
get them. Wait till we get to some of the
Yeah.
stuff. We can't just go print
We need
t-shirts.
some I can print. I've got the machine.
But we got to do some special t-shirts
Oh,
coming
so-
up,
okay,
for the grand announcement, hopefully.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right there
Y'all
with
have a
you.
good blessed
See
day.
you. Bye.
Bye.
You too.
I'll give you a downside of her last day.
What's that?
I was headed to Oak Ridge, South Carolina.
Oh, you
yesterday
couldn't be
morning.
there.
No, I weren't. We'd already had a retirement.
Oh,
party.
good.
I get a phone call from St. Diane.
Uh-uh.
Ruh-roh.
She said, my truck won't start.
Isn't it?
She said, nobody was home. Nobody was around. Everybody was
Mhm.
working. Everybody's gone. And I said,
I would have gone and helped her.
She said, if I could find somebody jumping, I can go to Advance or AutoZone.
Mhm.
I says, no, you're not going to do that. I said, I'm going to make a phone call. And you'll get some help in 15 minutes.
Nice.
Well, who are you going to call? And
Ghostbusters.
I've talked to them about doing sponsors, and they're it's
Right.
coming. But I'm gonna give them a plug. Sanders Auto Parts in Richmond,
Good
North
people.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Good people.
I called David Stencil up, and here's something I made a deal with him a long time ago. She don't even know it, because when I go out on the road, and I asked David years ago, I said, David, if something happens to my wife's truck or something like that, you take care of it, and I'll pay you
Yes.
when I get back. And he absolutely.
See,
So I
Good
told her,
people.
you just sit right there. So I called him, and I said, look, she ain't got a jumper box. Can you send Elton? Elton's one of his mechanics. Elton Adams, went to school with him. Great guy. Little short guy. He's a fantastic kid. I call him kid, but he ain't but 2 years younger than me. And he said, yeah, I'll carry my. I said, now here's the make model of the truck. Do you want him to take the battery out there and put it in, or you? She said, has she got time to come in here after he jumped? I said, yeah. So now he leaves Richlands, goes 4 miles out to the house, gives her a jump. She follows him back, pulls up to the bay. She goes in, sits down. A few minutes later, Elton comes in. Miss Diane, your truck's ready. She pays the bill. Now, here's what he done. Not only did he put the battery in it, he checked the fluids in her truck while she was there. Didn't ask him to. He made sure the air pressure was okay because he looked at and folks, we paid it. I never argue with the price with David and Rhonda. I have a peace of mind when I leave town. Mm-hmm. And that's the greatest thing. And I even got
kind of hard to pay for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And I know, and I got his cell phone number. In the middle of the night, if something happens, he'll run out there and I'm going to pay for it. And he's reasonable. And folks, Sanders Auto Parts has been in business since before I was born. Now, David bought it from the Sanders crowd, but David Stencil and his wife, Ron, and all their crew, their mechanics, they take care of my wife. Now, and that means, folks, if you get you and I call it mom and pop place, and you stick with them, they'll stick with you.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where I go. It's just like when I travel, if I go to a truck stop and some of the mom and pop truck stops are still open, not many, very, very few, it's all turned corporate. I stop in those and I still get that family feeling. And they're glad to see you when you walk in. But folks, I'm just telling you, I want to put something out there for David. If you're ever in Richlands and you got a problem, run over there to Sanders Auto Parts.
Or if you don't have a
They've been
problem,
there.
somebody
Stop
say, hey, Happy New Year.
They've been there.
They
a
got a
long
guy that
time.
works every other Saturday. His name's Glenn. I call him the Yankee, and he likes to try. He loves Belize. We talk about him going to Belize and Aruba. Great, fantastic, and I call him a Yankee, and that's what he is. And we just have a good time, just sitting there, jaw jacking. Yeah, but they have a great crowd,
Nice.
and I just appreciate what he done for me yesterday, and I appreciate it every day. And, but yes, that was her last day.
The great thing about having Yankees around here, they're good people.
Yeah.
Why? Because they know where they came from and they're appreciative of where they are.
Well, I've learned in my travels.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Yeah. Ohio Yankees are a whole lot better than New Jersey Yankees. I mean, my son,
some very great New Jersey people.
Well, I got one that I work with. He's a project manager, and he's a fantastic guy. I mean, his name is Gary Avery. Fantastic. His projects are online every time. When I call him, he tells me where he wants it. I put it where he wants it. He thanks me. He appreciates what I do, and we have a good rapport. But my son married a Yankee, bless her heart, and they're from Ohio, and she's got a fantastic mother and father, and I pick on them all the time, and they pick on me. In fact, after Christmas, they'll go down to Florida for a few months, and they'll work their way down here and stop by and see him. I got to see him last night, Bud and Paulette, and we just have a great time. Nice. We get together, and when they come back, they'll come back up this way, and it's just, I pick on Yankees all the time. Y'all hear me picking up. Well, it's a good thing because they just get on me whenever I go up north, and just as soon as I open up my mouth.
About your accent.
And then, they said, what part of North Carolina are you from? I said, the furthest eastern part you can stand. And a lot of, they said, are you sure
I can see you going in a restaurant. I'd like a nice tea.
Well, Remington, Indiana needs to put a plaque on the wall.
Do they have sugar in their tea?
They didn't. And I got in there one time.
I don't order sweet tea. I order Southern tea.
Yeah. Well, I went in there one time in a truck stop in Remington, Indiana. We got snowed in. I walked in there and bought some sweet tea.
They're like, what?
And he looked at me and says, you're not in the South. I said, let me tell you something. If you'll start serving sweet tea, and when you boil that tea, if you'll put that sugar in it, then you'll sell out. Well, when I left, I came back 3 weeks later, went to that same truck stop, and they had a big sign, Southern Sweet Tea.
Sold out.
She said, we can't keep it. She said, you're so right. I said, up it up. Charge more if you need to.
Yeah.
And to this day, the last time when I went to Romeoville, Indiana, I stopped at that truck stop because they used to have a fantastic steak, and they still do. And they still had that old sign up there.
Making me want to go more and more to Marina Cafe today.
There you go.
Yep.
Midweek Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services right here in Jacksonville. With a new year comes a new start for a whole lot of people out there, all of us, we hope. For those who are struggling with issues as much as they'd like to, they just can't really turn it off at the end of one year and do something else at the beginning of another. The problems you had last night, they're still with you.
Yep.
But you can look outside. The sun comes up earlier. It sets later.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brand new year. It's a brand new time. You got a fresh start. You can do something with this new year. If you know that you have a problem, if you know there are issues that are bugging you, you understand that there are risks along the roads that you travel.
I'm one of them.
That's actually a good start. If you understand there are issues, then you got a good start. Your next step is to reach out for some help, whether it's a substance abuse issue for yourself or loved ones, increasing self-destructive ideas, bad things, or just thoughts that you're a hopeless case. Oh, woe is me. Community Prevention Services right here in Jacksonville, they have trained and experienced counselors who actually want to help you help yourself. Give them a call, ask questions, then set up a time to meet with a counselor. You're not a hopeless case or a hopeless cause. Your conversations with the staff will never be shared with anyone else either. Community Prevention Services also accepts most insurance plans. Help us help you. Phone call away, 910-353-0972. Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Offshore, no, for the remainder of the week. Cool, high pressure will dominate through the end of this week. Cool, high pressure. Then it's going to be cold at night.
Yes.
For today, that will result in heavy waves, big seas out there, somewhat of a cross between a washing machine, like I said last time, and a roller coaster. Imagine being in a roller coaster inside a big washing machine. That's what it can feel like at times. Westerly winds today offshore, 20 to 25 knots, gust to 35 knots, seas big 5 to 7, 3 to 5 near shore. Sounds and rivers are going to be rough. Tomorrow, northwesterly winds 15 to 20, gust to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon, seas 2 to 4. Going to be kind of choppy in the inlets. Be careful. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. And on Friday, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, becoming westerly 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas are coming down. Yay, 2 to 3 footers. Somewhat choppy in the inlets, though. Sounds and rivers, a light chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon.
Today is sunny with a high near 59, winds 9 to 15 with gusts as high as 24 miles per hour. Tonight, clear with a low around 31. Thursday, sunny with a high near 51. Friday and Saturday, highs near 53. And that was Friday. I'm sorry, Saturday and Sunday, lows in the highs in the mid 40s. Oh, I just messed all that up.
It's going to be chilly.
It's going to get cold. And
you
then
might want some chili at night. We had
yeah.
chili last night again. My wife's chicken chili. She calls it white chili.
Starting Thursday night through the weekend, the lows are going to be in the 20s at night.
I got to go find some wood.
Yes.
I'm going to chop somebody's
A
trees
good old
down.
pot of chili sounds good.
It does. It's
I made a
really good.
small pot. You know, something I discovered in the grocery store. It's probably been there for a while. It's first for me. Was the stewed tomatoes that were already had the seasoning for chili.
Mm-hmm.
They're chili
Yeah, I've
seasoned
seen
tomatoes.
those.
And I used
Yeah,
those.
they're good.
And I actually didn't have to add anything else to my chili.
Okay, one thing you might want to do with those, if you're chili and you're using canned tomatoes, in the summertime you use fresh tomatoes, but
Right.
you're having to use canned tomatoes, all right? Unless you froze a lot that you can use
No.
or canned them yourself. Put a little pinch of brown sugar in
Yeah,
it.
I've done that before.
If it's bitter tasting, tastes
But-
kind of tinny.
Yes, but
'cause it
these
comes from a
weren't.
tin can.
I added no sugar this time to it,
Really?
and it was really good.
That's good.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
surprised.
see you today at about 11 o'clock or so at Captain Bob Beck's Marina Cafe right here in Jacksonville, the only restaurant on the waterfront. How about that?
Yeah.
You can sit on the deck outside. Might be a little cool, but you can have a great shrimp burger.
Mhm.
Oh my.
They got
So
some
good.
best
Philly-
roomage you ever eat.
And Philly
Mm.
cheesesteak, according to, I haven't had one of them, but I have seen them. They're delicious.
I like their ribeyes too.
Seafood, burgers your way. I haven't had a ribeye there.
I love their steak.
They're
and
a little bit
cheese. Their
thinner
Philly cheese.
than what we're used
Yeah,
to.
well, that's what.
But
a lot
they
of
are
places do.
good.
Oh yeah.
And there's a waiter in there. He's bald headed too. I can't remember his name, but when I walk in, he stops and looks at me. Yep.
Yep.
So then he asked Diane what she wants, but he
Mhm.
don't even ask me.
They
I've been in there that many times.
when people know you,
Yeah.
and they know what you
He's
want,
a great waiter.
and those are great people there.
Yep.
Something else, if you're down here from up yonder, the north, you're visiting, stop by and ask for some hush puppies too.
Yep.
Oh, they
Go
have
with your
great
shrimp
hush
burger.
puppies.
Yes.
With the shrimp, what? Yeah, they make burgers. Shrimp
Mhm.
on a burger. I get mine with tartar sauce.
Mm-hmm. Wrong way to have it.
Occasionally, I'll ask them to add a mater to it,
Mm-hmm.
a slice
Oh,
of red tomato
sounds
slice
so good.
with tartar sauce on the shrimp
I
burger.
like a little
Mm.
cheese on mine too.
And cheese.
Oh, I love it.
try
I'm a
not to
cheese
do-
head anyway.
I like cheese, but I just don't like
Me
them on
too.
burgers. I like them
do.
on pretty much everything else. I just
Give
don't
me
like them on
cheddar
any
on
Give me a
burger.
piece of cheddar cheese.
Mm,
Oh
yes.
man,
So I
make
can
a
sit there
meal
and
out
eat
of
it by itself.
Yeah.
And on a cracker, get out of
Yeah,
my
cheddar
way.
cheese, peanut butter. I'm here.
Stop by, check out Bob Beck's Marina Cafe. It's the perfect place to add to your must-visit Jacksonville spots this year, 2025. Get the new year started right. Celebrate with great food and great people every day.
Mhm.
Not a problem. And don't forget their chowder. It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold, y'all.
Sure.
Get some of that clam chowder and tell them to make it extra hot.
Mm.
They'll do it for you. Don't mess with the mascot.
No.
If you mess with the mascot, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
You don't try to pet him.
Taking my cat with me.
Don't try to pet him because he likes finger food.
Mhm.
Is that a hint?
I'm taking the cat with me.
Bob and the entire crew want to wish one and all a glorious and prosperous new year. Marina Cafe just across the bridge on South Marine Boulevard. I'd skip the first exit, but take any of the next two exits.
Yeah.
You can take the first one. You got to wind your way around there a little bit.
In
But
a holy parking lot. Take the next one, right?
yeah, there you go. That's not a bad thing.
That's character.
Yes.
Gives it character.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's character. You know what I find interesting these days? I reflect back on a lot of things. So I'm going to go back a year.
A year.
When it looked like the political world, including a boatload of Republicans, could not get far enough away from Donald Trump. They avoided him. It was like he had COVID, 3 STDs, pneumonia, the Black Plague, and
Ugh.
measles all at the same time. No major players had anything to do with him, at least in public.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that a lot of folks out there, what once was called the silent majority, supported Trump, but they couldn't let their neighbors, their coworkers, or family members know their
Yeah.
feelings. That was when district attorneys in New York, Georgia, and probably a couple of other places were going after the then former president. It became pretty obvious that they were trying to make names for themselves, number one, gaining national notoriety. Notoriety is kind of like being notorious, isn't it?
Yeah.
By taking on a former president that they were led to believe was a hated man. Federal investigations were launched, an unprecedented raid on his home in Florida, criminal charges in New York. Obvious to Ray Charles that it was an effort to discredit Trump with the voters. And with the help of the mainstream media, using cherry-picked polls, that's what they were, results from local, regional, and national polls that all seemed to Trump could not win a race if he was running for the county line. A year later, now, and the vultures seem to be turning on each other.
Mhm.
Fannie Willis, the Georgia DA, the girl who went whole hog trying to prove Trump interfered with the election in 2020, has now been removed from the election tampering case. Georgia's attorney general is agreeing with that call, that was made by Georgia a court of appeals saying the publicity-seeking DA created her own conflict of interest.
Yep.
Other cases have been put on hold or dropped. Yep, Trump was found guilty of 30-something cases. None were of a nature that precluded him from running for president. When either political party seeks to use the judicial system to go after a political opponent, we have a problem. When law enforcement officers at any level, a district attorney, the attorney general, anyone within the system resorts to those means, it is beyond disgraceful. Lady Justice is blind, as she should be. She cares not how you vote. She doesn't care how rich or poor you are. Unfortunately, too many of those who should be guided by Lady Justice are themselves blind and cannot find the right path. In political elections, the outcome should only rest with those legal voters in this country, not with publicity-seeking wannabes from either party.
Mm-hmm.
As I've noted before, with no additional terms that Trump can seek after the one that he's getting ready to take over, if the Democrat sharks who claimed he was guilty of all sorts of crimes, if they decide not to continue their efforts to bring him to justice after his term ends in 2028, when he's out of office, then these last 8 years, that includes his entire first term, plus Biden's term, have been nothing but politically motivated efforts to keep him out of office any way they could. Not pursuing the allegations after 2028 will show their true colors, and that those colors were truly politically motivated.
I think it really made
What do
him.
you think?
I think it really made him stronger the more mess they.
Oh,
put
it
on
did.
him. So, oh yeah,
I think
they
people
just shot
started
themselves.
seeing it.
It militarized
Yeah.
his supporters.
Yeah.
We have
It
a lot of
organized.
politicians that
Organized them.
have a lot of issues, and they could probably have been arrested for this or that, but it was a targeted attack on Trump.
It was.
Would you like to hear the latest voter registration stats
I
for
want to
Onslow
hear
County?
it. We haven't talked
We
about that
haven't
lately.
talked about that.
Do I do a drum roll now?
As of today, we have 24,072 registered Democrats in Onslow County. Republican, 52,430.
More than twice as many.
We gained. Unaffiliated, 57,809. Now, there's other parties there. They're
They
all
don't
small.
count.
I'm not going to, but here's what it is I see there's been an increase in the female registrations. Right now, the females registered in Onslow County, 66,303.
Hey, good.
Male is 58,231. So
We're
a total
catching up.
of 136,699 registered.
Well, aren't there more
voters.
Aren't there more women than there are men anyway?
Not by that much, though. The
I'm
women
not talking
picked
about
up.
voters. I'm talking about men in general. Just the male population is smaller than the female population.
Yeah, because we all beat you up. Beat you.
No, y'all
Put you
just
out of
crazy.
your
Y'all
misery.
just crazy. And we're
Why do
scared.
men die or generally die before women? Because
Why?
they want to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
Let's move out to that west coast there, that left-leaning coast. Let's say you guys can do some math, right? If you can, I'll help you out. Let's say that we're given a 20% increase in our incomes. Okay,
Okay.
we get a salary. Some of us, we used to. Let's say that when I was getting a salary, I suddenly got a 20% increase in it. That's a big chunk of change, right?
Yes.
Would you consider that a significant increase? A 20% raise?
20%. Well, that's a nickel on a dollar.
Well, it's
No, That's 20 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, 20 cents. Yeah,
20
20
So if you're
times
making
10
$1 and you get
is
$1.20,
100 would be well, it's better than nothing. I would say
20% increase is a significant.
I was gonna
Who
say
gets a
it's pretty
20%
good.
increase? What did you get on your COLA, your cost of living adjustment for your Social Security?
I don't know, but I know it looks good this year.
It looks good.
Mine looks good. My retirement
Across the board, it was a little over 2%.
Oh, I know that.
Not
but look,
20%.
we're lucky we even got that. We're so busy sending money
So
elsewhere.
was that anything to jump up and down about?
No, but every little bit adds up and helps.
Did you see the other fees that were associated with this year's Social Security?
I don't have anything.
So
but,
look at it this way. You ready?
right.
If there was a decrease in our paychecks of 20%, would that be outrageous? Well, how would you feel about that? You're making $1 an hour and suddenly you're making 80 cents an hour.
Right.
How would that go over? That would be a catastrophe, wouldn't it? Governor Gavin Newsom, that cool dude running California into the ground, says he's happy with the homelessness problem in his state. I'm pleased, he said, that it only increased by 20%. I get a 20% raise. That's pretty significant. He gets an increase in the homelessness in California of 20%. And he said, I'm happy with that. There's no big deal. He says that kind of an increase is not significant. Baloney. I'm being polite. No doubt if he reported that the average salaries of California workers rose by 20%, he would have been extremely happy. Yes, California's homeless rate has jumped 20%, and the governor is okay with that. Did I mention that was the left coast?
Yeah. Oh, well, let's talk about
I can't imagine.
your governor in North Carolina.
Yeah.
List of governors who have taken action towards limiting the use of the death penalty in North Carolina by giving 15 grants of clemency for people on death row. This grant of clemency is the largest in North Carolina history.
Were the sentences commuted, or he didn't free them, he didn't pardon them?
Just gave him
No,
life.
it just gave him life. That's all. Took
Just
away.
life or life without the benefit of
Got
parole?
him
It
off.
does not stipulate here
got him
in
off
this
death
news
row, put
story.
him in GP.
If they give him
Right.
life, if they give them life, they start going through and the parole board starts looking at it, and they've been in prison for 20 years. That's considered life in prison in North Carolina.
Did you know North Carolina's death row has the 5th largest nation? That's what the way it's written, with 121 people awaiting execution.
We can lower that number
Has the 5th largest nation.
over the next
Who wrote
121
that?
days.
Yes.
We could lower that number
120
to nothing.
I imagine so.
Okay.
There's Robin calling.
Did you say this is Robin or is it Batman?
It's Robin.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
Yeah, you had it wrong. It's Batman.
Hey, Batman, how are
You
you?
wish you were.
He's a little short for that. Never mind.
Oh,
I did
Lord
not
of
say
mercy.
that.
I did not
go
even
there.
think that,
Mm-mm.
Robin.
Short for that. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Happy New Year and belated happy birthday.
Well, I was going to wish you that until Timmy opened his mouth, but, you know. No, I just wanted to call and say, you know, Happy New Year. It's a new year, new beginning, new start. And, you know, kind of uneventful. Stayed home. Kelly, of course, she didn't get home till 3 a.m. because she was working a checkpoint last night.
Yeah, we saw it. We were talking to her all night.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she was telling me about a chase, and that's I'm interested to find out more about that information later on today. But I just wanted to call and wish you guys a Happy New Year, and I hope your New Year is blessed. And to remind people, our first meeting of the year for the commissioners is going to be on January 6th,
Next Monday.
which is Monday. Yep, at 11 o'clock. And as always, we're just rolling back up into the budget now. Workshop scheduled and trying to get our budget done before June. And it's going to be.
Yeah, and poor old broke me. I'm sorry. I gotta go pay my property taxes now. I got to do this now. I got to do that now. Dadgummit, Robin. I managed to get you. I managed to get you into office, and then y'all just haven't given me a break at all.
You're going to have to get a job, pay all these property
I know
taxes.
You had to
I'm
call.
in the same. I'm in the same boat. I got to pay my property taxes, and you know, it's a killer every year.
Well,
But, you know,
while you're down there, why don't you just do mine too?
yeah, I could, but then I'd be eating beanie weenies for probably.
They are good.
Yeah, I'll get you a can or two.
I'll buy you a case.
I help you out.
Yeah.
Since I'm 28 days older than you are, I help you out. I'm a senior. I'm your senior.
Yeah, I guess so. You are 28 days old.
I sure
Thanks for
am.
reminding me of that.
I can remember your birthday. Can't hardly remember mine, but I remember yours. That's bad.
Well, we're both the same age.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad, this birthday came around. It was nice. Kelly did me right. We had a good time with the family, but birthdays now are like, okay, I made it another year.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not exciting.
Just another day.
It's another day closer to Social Security. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Don't, that's nothing to look forward to. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not going to, you think it's going to be good.
You hadn't started yours yet?
No, I haven't, because
I hadn't either.
I can't do mine now because I wouldn't get the full amount because of my job.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of waiting it out to see how long I can push it. But I'm sure I'll be there soon. That's for sure.
Well, you better hurry up and get it, because according to what I'm hearing, they're going to take it away from all you newcomers. You ain't going to get it until you're about 75 shortly.
Yeah, that's a travesty. You pay into Social Security all your life and everything else, and then they turn around and they take that back from you. I mean, I'll be honest with you, our economy is horrible. Our system, in terms of that and taking care of people that are elderly, I guess I classify now as getting to the elderly group. It's horrible, and it's just there's nothing to really put your teeth into at all. I mean, there's like, every time they give you money, they take it away.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other funny thing about the Social Security stuff. They classify that as income and they take it out. You have to pay taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay federal taxes on your Social Security income that you've worked for. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I pay $148 a month.
They take you pay into it all your life, and that's supposed to be a benefit to you if you're lucky enough to reach the magical age, and then they turn around and tax you for it.
Yep.
That's just, to me, I can't. I'm scratching my head over that.
Uh-huh.
I do too.
Well, I'm thinking very seriously of denouncing my citizenship to the United States of America. Slide on down there south of the border, I'm going to sneak back across, and then I'm going to apply for all the benefits that I can get.
Well, you probably make out. You'd be a lot better off than most Americans.
I would be better off than I am right now. I can tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to January 20th when Trump takes office and gets his machine moving.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I am so, I know I'm into politics, and I'm at the local level, but I'm so sick and tired of people beating the dead horse about Biden this, Biden that, Trump, what he did at the last election. Folks, get over it. It's over with.
Mm-hmm.
January 20th is coming. We're going to have a new president. I couldn't care less, but I don't like the hypocrisy. Everybody's coming down on Trump, and he was criminally convicted, and blah, blah, blah. Then we got people like Hunter Biden out there, and Joe Biden, and Pelosi, and all these people. I mean, it's a never-ending circle. It's really boring. Actually, it gets depressing. I'm just done with it. I just had enough of that. I don't even want to participate in any debate about it because you're never going to win.
No.
People forget. They harp on things because either they have no life or it intrigues them. They want to talk about somebody else other than themselves.
Yeah. Well,
and that's why
I'm apprehensive about January 20th. I don't know what's going to occur. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do. I'm reasonably sure he's not going to have nearly as much interference in this 4-year term as he had during the first 4-year term, because all they were doing then is just figuring a way to keep him from being reelected, and they were successful. They were, they mounted a heck of an attack. I got to give it to them. That was a military strategically planned operation that lasted for all 4 years and then continued for the next 4 years during Biden's term to keep him from running again. Didn't work.
Well, yeah, you said all the right words except one. It was all politically driven, and they used it as a political motivation.
Yeah, it was.
That's what it was. It was all. They're playing politics on the big stage and trying to convert it to criminality, and that's ridiculous. If these politicians would spend the same amount of time and energy trying to get him out of office or keep him out of office, we'd probably solve a lot of our problems economically and everything else in the country.
But no, we got people that just want to make a name for themselves, whether it's famous or infamously. They want to make a name for themselves. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the rhetoric, and I'm tired of people always harping on Trump. Bottom line is, get over it. He's the president. Support him, and let's just move on.
Yep.
And I tell you, but I will tell you one thing, my personal opinion is that the citizens of this country better be ready to grab their butts and hang on tight, because Tom Homan is definitely going to do what he says.
I don't think anybody can get in his way now. I believe that road is wide open. Be standing in the way of that operation, because I think he has got the power. I know he's got the power, and I think he's got the resolve, and I know he's got the army to take care of it.
Well, he's got carte blanche right now to do what he needs to do to fix this country. And believe me, I firmly believe that he's going to do that.
Oh yeah,
he's a man of his word. And any liberal or progressive mayor or politician that stands in his way, they're going to find it's going to be a bad day for them if they didn't do that. And I really do believe that. When you
start interfering with the federal agent, and that's what they would be doing. When you start interfering with the federal agent, Robin, you can address that one just a little bit. We know what happens then, don't we?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you try to address a federal investigation or federal directive, and they're trying to perform their jobs, whether it's DEA, FBI, MTI, it doesn't really matter. You're going to get arrested.
Yep.
You're going to get arrested, and you're going to go through the proper procedure, and that's it. And I want to make one more comment. I heard somebody say the other day, about asylum, people coming across the border.
Bull.
We didn't do it right, or what about these people that don't ask for asylum? Look, like Tom Homan said, go to the border, seek asylum, do it the proper way, and then you can get into the country with certain restrictions. There are many immigrants, law-abiding immigrants that came to this country that same fashion. They didn't sneak across, they didn't swim across, they didn't walk across, they didn't do anything. But applied for citizenship or applied to come to the country the right way. And when I hear this rhetoric from the left talking about, all these people, they have these rights, these kids, all that stuff, well, you know what? That's life. There's procedures set up. If you want to interfere with those procedures, well, you're going to end up in jail, bottom line. That's my 2 cents. I just wanted to call and wish you guys a happy new year.
All right. Same to you, sir.
And we'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Take care.
You be good, man.
Be safe. Okay. Y'all fly out of airports and stuff from time to time, don't you? You don't?
I try not
It's
to.
been a while.
Yeah.
I've done it 6 times in my life, but yeah. I like
Well,
Don't let 'em feed you.
If for any reason that you decide you're going to drive down to Dallas area and you're down there and you want to catch an airplane to go somewhere, get somebody to drive you to the airport, especially if you got a nice car. An organized theft ring with at least 14 people nationwide are accused of stealing nearly $5 million worth of vehicles from the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport between 2023 and 2024. $5 million worth of vehicles. 14 people have been identified. 52 cars from Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Wow. Don't drive to the airport and park your car and expect to have it when you get back. If you do, drive a clunker. Get somebody to take it. That's what I generally do. Happy New Year, Theo.
Hey, deplorables, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. We're doing fine.
Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, my brother. How about you?
You're doing a good, you getting ready for the new year?
Yeah, getting ready to go back to Oak Ridge, South Carolina, probably tomorrow or
Listen,
Friday.
how come your wife joined the government, but you didn't join the government, so you're retiring with her?
I'm going to lay that. I won't call it smart. I call it
cagey.
Sorry. How about that? Sorry. I'm a truck driver. There's no sorrier person than a truck driver.
You could have joined the Marine Corps and driven a
I
truck,
coulda
or
had,
Army and driven a truck, or
I
a tank.
could have done a whole lot of that. I just chose to be sorry. Theo, I really, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about a government job when you work so much and then you get a nice retirement pay?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I will say this part. I can't say a whole lot right now, but she had 28 years with the federal government. She's only going to get processed for 23. I won't go into that.
Wow.
But now
Okay.
that's a night that to me. We don't talk about it. She don't. But to me, it's a ripoff.
All
So
right.
you
Well,
figure
look, she's
that.
still getting something. If you
She's
work
gonna get
for
something, yeah.
28 years, you get guts. You know what guts is?
Yeah.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. Well, I'm gonna
Where
get
you
something.
working? Where you working? If you work 28 years, what would you get?
Well, here's what I
Or
do.
23 years. Let's put 23 like she worked. Right?
Yeah, I'm getting
Okay.
something too.
Now, Senator Lazarus wants to throw the DMV people out and give it and privatize it. What do you think they're going to get after 23 years when you privatize it?
Well, that's what we do here. I mean, your license tag office is privatized. They don't get nothing.
Okay.
They don't
Well,
have
right through
benefits.
the government jobs out. Look at the ABC stores.
Okay.
They're government people. They put 23 years in there. They get something, right?
Yeah, the state. Yeah, they're state.
'cause
Yes,
they
sir.
work for the
Okay.
state.
They work
Okay.
for the state. Yeah, they're
So
not contracted.
Why should we go and throw all the jobs out to private people when they don't take care of us and not stick with the government?
Well, here's my take on it.
Yeah, take it.
Okay, I'm gonna take it. I took early retirement from one job. I put my money up that I had saved, and I worked on another job for 9 years. Took that money up, put it up, and I divvied it out. And I'm still working. I can retire. I can retire today.
Yeah.
I choose not to, and here's why. One of the reasons why, because when they sent me my letter, they told me I was going to make $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
And that was a joke. The other reason is you got so many license issuing truck drivers running around, and the wrecks are skyrocketing because of lack of experience. Trucking companies, especially in my field, they're begging us not to retire. And they're making it, mine's heavy equipment out. They're begging us not to retire because they can't find anybody with experience to be safe. I mean, I pulled a load yesterday out of Oak Ridge, South Carolina. I pulled a log skidder. It's 11 feet wide. Now, here's what I had to do. I had to get a permit from South Carolina and a permit from North Carolina, and I had to go exactly the way they told me to go, or I would be in trouble. And the way South Carolina told me to go, I thought was ridiculous, but I went because that's the way I had to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't choose my own route.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying about the government jobs.
wait, everybody can't get a government job.
No, they can't. But
No.
when you're taking them out and you're saying, I'm going to give it to the private, they want to privatize
They want
everything.
private. I don't agree with
Everybody
it.
can't
Right.
work for the government. You're right. But why privatize something that it's a good thing for the people?
Okay. Well, I'll give you this scenario. She's retiring. She's retiring.
Yeah.
If she wanted to,
Yeah.
and she probably will, she can become a consultant.
Yeah.
Private consultant. A farmer could come into her and say, look, I need this. I need you to help me with this paperwork. And she could help them because she has that knowledge. She could help them get it straightened out. And then they could pay her a fee. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing. If you're
There you
young
go.
enough and you retire from the government and now you can get a private job or whatever, that's great. Now you got your salaries coming in.
So-
There's nothing wrong with it.
so
We're talking
Thea-
about giving up the government jobs, okay?
So Theo, did you ever work for the government?
Only in the National Guard.
Okay, so that was good. Thank you. I didn't know that.
I appreciate you, buddy.
You knew that. I already told you 10 times.
Well, I'm old,
He
Theo. I
slipped.
forget
I
things.
know
Since
you
then,
are.
Theo.
I know you are. Yeah, but you're making fun of Biden. Look at yourself first.
Well, hold on just a second. That's not what I was doing.
Hi.
Why didn't you stay with the National Guard and you could have earned a retirement plan
I
there
could
too?
have. Listen.
So why didn't you do it?
Listen. I'm not talking about the decisions we make. I'm talking about a senator coming and taking the government jobs and giving them to private people. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, before you leave, let me tell you one more thing. I tell Commissioner Robin that I had my violin out because he almost had me crying, you know? So tell him Theo has a life, but tell him 4 years ago, Mr. Commissioner, this president that you elected had an insurrection. Okay, 4 years ago at this time, January 6th, it's coming up. They were setting up with his Steve Bannon's and all the other Giuliani's. They were putting an insurrection. Now, it doesn't mean anything to you, but 140 police officers got hurt that day. And some of them died from suicide and stuff like that. Okay?
Suicide?
And Rayford, the other day you said you didn't know who the Proud Boys were. But did you know who the Oath Keepers were? Did you know who the 3%ers were? Did you know who the QAnons were? The only ones that you know about it maybe is the Tea Partiers, because Dee Dee used to be a Tea Partier. What were they doing insurrecting the Capitol at that time, Rayford?
It's called freedom of speech.
Okay, boy, you ask a whole bunch of stuff right there. First of all,
I get the commissioner crying here today. The first day of the year, he's crying, the poor thing. He's sick and tired of people talking about Trump. Let me tell you something. He said he was going to give you the economy and the immigration. Are the eggs down yet?
Did you listen that day that I called in?
He's not president yet.
Did you listen, Theo, that day I called in and we talked about the economy? Did you listen to what I said? Or did you hear it that day?
Which day? Tell me.
It's been a week ago.
What about it?
Well, the part about the economy, I'll give you an example. The price, it goes in quarters. I mean, just because if your fuel goes down, it's going to take at least 3 months for them eggs to come down.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay, then we won't get off of that.
Listen,
but it's going to take a year for your groceries to come down, and they're not going to go down to what they were in 2020.
Okay. He promised you the economy, and he promised you immigration, and he also said from day one he was going to take care of Ukraine. Okay? Now, let's see what's going on. Okay? We can talk.
Okay.
All right.
I agree with you.
Okay. To be continued.
To be continued, yeah.
To be continued.
All right, and Rayford, it wasn't just the Proud Boys. There was another 5 different gangs that were there that day. Okay? Now, maybe you can call one of your Tea Partiers that's around here with a yellow flag and ask them what they were doing there Insurrection Day. Maybe they can explain it to you. I know you know about them. Okay? You guys have a nice day.
Thank you, Theo.
Bye, Theo.
Take a deep breath.
I need another cup of
go
coffee.
get some coffee.
Yeah, you're going to need 2 cups of coffee with that Project 2025.
I don't drink coffee.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Theo.
Have you, buddy.
Whoa.
He's my man. If he'd run for county commissioner, I'd vote for him.
Oh, I will too. I'll support that guy in a heartbeat.
I mean, I will.
I would just love to have him
I
up there.
told him that.
I'm just like, what?
I'd love to have him up there on the board.
Oh, God, yeah. It'd be a whole lot
Can you
better.
imagine him on the school board?
Yes. That's where we need Theo.
Now leave the school board alone.
No.
Things are calming down. We need them to stay
Hey, here's what we
calm.
could do with the board of commissioners. We could just appear before them one day. We get on the agenda. I can get on the agenda. We got 5 minutes, right?
Right.
Go up there and say, "Listen, boys and lady, here's what we're gonna do. Do you know this man right here? I'll play a little clip. I'll have a cardboard cutout. This is Theo. For you guys who don't know him, he's our friend. And let me play this
Take
one little
him
clip
with
that we
you.
just had on there, and we'll play that for him and say, now, if y'all don't straighten up and fly right and get some stuff done, we're going to support him and we're going to run him for county commissioner.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what I'm saying?
He's my fill.
How would that?
Well, I sure
That would be
hope
a threat like you
Yes,
would.
it would.
That might be considered illegal. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
if
I
you
know.
watch the last 2 meetings, the county commissioner's public comment in the beginning, there's been a young woman wearing a mask each time, going up before the commissioners and using her full 5 minutes to talk about I don't know what she's talking about, and it
She
has
probably don't
nothing to
either.
do with county business. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll tell her next time, like, but it's been interesting, her 5-minute speech. So,
Okay, we're going to find out more about last night's the overnight, which started late last night. It ended very early this morning. Road checking station here in Oslo County.
good for Onslow County.
One guy was critically injured. We don't know his. We're hearing all sorts of
Right, I heard about it,
reports,
but nothing confirmed.
but we don't know
Right.
for a fact anything yet, and y'all probably don't either. But we'll find out.
This phone?
Road checking station. He was critically injured when he
Right.
decided to crash the checkpoint, and high speed chase up to about 100 miles per hour, and he crashed his motorcycle, and he was airlifted out. And under those conditions, situations are not good. So we'll bring you up to speed on that as soon as we got the information.
It's not worth it. It's not
No.
worth it to run.
No,
why
if you run, well,
Get your stuff straight before you go out on the road.
That's
If
why
you
I
don't
drink
have a
at home.
license, get a license.
I
If
drink
you
it-
need
yeah.
insurance, get insurance.
and if you just want to get out there and just think that you're going to be a bad guy, I don't know how fast your motorcycle will run. I don't know how fast your car will run. I do know what runs faster.
Is
At
it
186,000 miles per second. And that's the speed of the electronic radios that they have in their cars.
not a privilege to be able to drive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's
North
not a
Carolina,
right.
It's not a
That's
right.
right.
It's not a right. So
That's
get your
right.
mess together.
When I took driver's ed, it's the first thing come out of Ross White's mouth. Understand this. It's not a right to drive in the state of North Carolina. It's a privilege.
And they
That's
can
right.
deny that privilege anytime they so
Anytime
desire.
they so choose, and that's just where he put it.
Okay. We will see you tomorrow morning. We will
Yes.
have
I
Chris
know-
Miller going to be chatting with
Yeah,
us.
it's Miller
about
time.
What's
tomorrow.
coming up sports-wise,
Yeah.
high school sports,
Yeah,
primarily.
basketball tournament.
Yep.
Basketball
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, thing. Not a tournament, a invitational.
They run up and down the court.
Yes. I've been following him on X over these games, and it's going to be interesting. I'm anxious to hear what he's got to say.
So he's X-rated.
He's X'd.
He's rated X.
He's X'd, yes.
Is it
X.
1X or 2X or
Just
3X?
X on him.
Just X. All right, we will talk with Chris Miller,
Right.
the editor of the Jacksonville Daily News tomorrow. We're also
Sports
working,
editor, right.
sports editor. We're also working to get a couple of other individuals in here.
Yes,
One
very
being the
interesting.
former editor of the Jacksonville Daily
Yes,
News.
talk about what it was
He's,
like,
He's
his days doing that.
He's in the government now,
Yes, he is.
so we'll chat with him about that and how things are going. What I'm seeing, I'm liking.
Right.
Just put it that way.
And then we're going to have an official, hopefully I'll know today or tomorrow. You know, holidays have been crazy getting people on, but talk about safety at home with your
Yes.
carbon monoxide
Yes,
detector.
we got to do that over the
and-
Christmas
yes.
holiday. We had at least 5 people that I know of, 4
Yes.
in one family, and then an actress,
Yes.
well-known actress, also come to carbon monoxide poisoning.
And I'm going to
No.
bring my detector in, see what he's got to say about it.
Yeah,
I
see
know
if
what
it
he's going to
works.
tell me, like, how old is it? 50 years? I mean,
You
yeah.
just bought it, didn't you?
No, that was my new fire alarm carbon monoxide detector, but I have a
Oh, you have an
separate
old one?
carbon monoxide plug-in that I've had probably 20 years.
Plug-in things I have problems with, especially their fire detectors, because
Yeah.
one of the first things that happens in a fire, you blow circuits,
Well,
breakers go,
this is
your power goes out, or
a
whatever. Or let's just say there's a lightning storm in the middle of the night, your power is interrupted, but your house is caught on fire. You don't know it.
Well, I have more than one detector.
Good.
Let's just put
Just-
it that way. I try to be very
Y'all look at
conscious.
things like
And
some of us look at things.
the
just
former
just
fire
in
marshal
case.
Brian taught me a lot.
Yep.
He said, "Get
Get out
this,"
of the
and I went
house.
right out and got it.
Get a tent
Yes.
and don't build a fire in it. Okay, we will see you in the morning. Have a great rest of your day. Tim, thank you for being
Yes,
joining
sir.
us this
Thank
morning.
you
Happy
so
New
much.
Year
I'll
again.
be back the 7th.
Yeah, he'll be
Y'all
back.
The
have me.
7th. Yay!
He'll be
Next
back
week.
Tuesday.
Got
Tuesday.
a doctor's appointment that day, so
Are you going to bring the doctor along? Maybe we could just let
I'm
him or
pretty
her
sure
examine you here.
I have to go to one
I had to
tomorrow.
get Robin to go with me. He speaks Chinese.
Oh, God.
Oh no, you didn't just call him a Chinaman, did you?
Well, no, he knows 5 languages. I'm pretty sure he knows Chinese.
No, 5 languages. Wow.
He knows-
Redneck.
I think he knows 5 languages.
English.
Robin, don't you know 5 languages? I only know 2.
I think that's the retired sheriff of Onslow County.
What?
Hans knows 5
He
languages.
knows
might.
multiple languages, yes.
I thought Robin did too.
Interesting.
I don't know. We'll see.
I thought he did.
I think he knows redneck.
I know.
well, yeah,
Robin.
I know English and country, and yeah, that's it.
I know
mean, I'm
English, redneck, and a
I
little
know,
bit
I
of
know
French.
that much
That's all.
English.
good. I got a little bit of Ebonics in me too, but that's called redneck Ebonics.
Oh,
That's
Y'all-
right. Polaris.
all right, we're going downhill. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It's going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow morning, so
Right.
get your blankets
Just
out, get your
warm.
fires ready, and go ahead and make a pot of chili. Have a great rest of your
Y'all
day.
be
And again,
Be sweet.
be sweet, be safe, and Happy New Year. You're live and local Real Talk. Hopefully, we'll add some more to that very soon. We are always awake.
Never woke.
Thank you.
Never worked.
Golly, took a while. See you in the morning. Be
What's waiting
safe.
on you?
She's slow.